If I want to. Hey man, I didn't do all this work and make all those sacrifices. You to sit here and tell me how to live my life. I'm gonna do what I want to. I live a good life, but I am not rich. I've got a day job that I will not quit. I went from unknown to my city's top pick. The talent caught the stick, so we never stop to sit. Working man's haptic, college bag game plan. We have fun every day, but we ain't playing. That's where the road game. I'm jumping in your cocaine. I ain't racing bullets. My academic training makes it possible to say we are living alright. My learning letting it earn it, but I am steady churning, turn up when you turn it 8 to 5. John Henry, 5 to 8, Billy Foster. Accept no imposters. I'm like Jesse and Rossman. That's 101. Custom made. I'm doing what I want to every day. I live every day on the brink if I want to. Dance, party, and drink if I want to. Slow up, pass out, and repeat if I want to. If I want to. If I want to. Take a fly leap from the roof if I want to. Ride out with my crew if I want to. Start a fire in this group if I want to. If I want to. If I want to. I handle my business, so please stay out of mine. That is so out of line, and you don't want to find a brother like me as your adversary. That's worse than scary, like a condom breaking free. Whoa, you don't want that kind of strife. I know you're not too bright, but you don't want that in your life. I'm way too prone to fight. I'm normally the type to make sure that your pockets are the opposite of right. I'm wrong for that, but I'm known for that. You was getting money with me, but so long that I'm the one with the people, and with people comes power. You are Moses, and you chosen to go and get devoured. But that ain't what this track is supposed to be about. We are out here showing up the features out. Writing pages, wrecking stages, cause the flow is so contagious. Making noise every day, just buzzing like we wasn't famous. I will live every day on the brink if I want to. Dance, party, and drink if I want to. Slow up, pass out, and repeat if I want to. If I want to. If I want to. Take a fly leap from the roof if I want to. Ride out with my crew if I want to. Start a fire in this group if I want to. If I want to. If I want to. It's real simple, pimp. It's like my folks told me. You don't like living by our rules? Move out, get a job, get your own place. You do what you want to. I moved out, got a job, I own my own house. So guess what? I'ma do what I want to. Every day, if I want to. Until I die, if I want to. Ain't nothing you can do about it. If I want to. If I want to. If I want to. Matter of fact, I can let Mr. J make this beat go crazy.
You serious, man?
Yes, sir. If I want to. Oh!
Infinite skills.
If I want to.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is Brian Powers, and this is New Jersey Revolution Radio Live. Hashtag is NJRR, and I'm sorry, no intro music yet for my live streaming audience, but hey, we're coming back next week, and I think maybe the full studio will be set up by then. As many of you know, I'm moving my home, and my home has my studio in it, and now my home and my studio and everything else in my life is in a box, like everything. So I'm here on a laptop at an undisclosed location doing NJRR Live. But as usual, we have our comrades with us. Leah is in the background doing our writing. And in just a moment, I'll be joined with tonight's co-host, Christian Perez of Modernity and Absurdity. And he's going to really educate us on something we don't talk about too much, which is European fascism, which you would think we would talk a lot more about European fascism, given, the history of that political stripe in that region of the world. But we'll get into that. As I've been going back and forth and been busy with my move, we are art and activism here, and the art side of it certainly for me focuses a lot on music. That's my passion, and I've been a musician since I was a kid, and since I was born, I've always been into music and loved music, and that's my kind of preferred medium of art to both enjoy, and even I dabble in producing a little bit of music myself from time to time. And over the past week, I lost a hero again. 2020 just sucks once more. When we lost Eddie Van Halen, I don't know. I mean, he's the greatest guitarist I've ever seen. The guy was fucking amazing. And for those of you that don't appreciate the genius that goes into a man that not only played an instrument better than anybody you've probably ever heard, but he invented that instrument all over again for generations of music to come. And I was just talking to Chris before the show, and I said, that whammy bar, the whammy bar, that's on a guitar that every heavy metal band since has gone, you don't get that sound unless Eddie Van Halen invented it. And he invented sounds from guitars that nobody could ever play or ever even imagine. The man was the Steve Jobs of guitars. He was a true genius and a mad genius at that, which is something, that I really do appreciate. So I want to thank, the Van Halen and the history of that musical group, because it certainly impacted me from the guitar to the drums. And when my wife called me, and she called me about something else, and then said, Eddie Van Halen died. I'm like, oh God damn it! Like, it's not even at this point. 2020 doesn't even make you sad anymore. It's with every goddamn thing that goes wrong, you just fucking 2020. And I'm really hoping 2021 gets better. So I can't play any of Van Halen's music tonight, which the Frankenfender, right? I mean, the classic guitar. Thank you, Jerry. The Frankenfender. I mean, this was a guitar, and what Jerry on the comments is talking about is his guitar, which was essentially a bunch of guitars that he had scavenged around his town. He didn't grow up rich. He was a very poor guy growing up, and he just built guitars out of shit he had laying around. And the Frankenfender was in several famous videos out of the 1984 album, I believe. Was where the Frankenfender really made its debut. It was the red splash guitar. And I mean, he's going to be imitated and copied and basically just be a part of music forever. I mean, this guy is a Beethoven of our time, and that's enough praising Eddie Van Halen. But I just wanted to, that was something that hit me hard this weekend. I wanted to just have a little comrade time with my heavy metal fans out there, rock and roll fans and whatever. But let's bring in now my co-host for this week, and you're co-hosting next week too, right, Chris?
I'm down if you are. If you'll have me. If I don't scare everyone off this week, if I don't stink up the joint tonight, I'll be back tomorrow.
Man, I'm so busy with this move and stuff. I really appreciate you helping me out and coming on board. And Chris has been just a great part of the new NJR family. So how's been your last couple of weeks while I travel back and forth between my new home and my old?
I'm doing okay, just surviving, just working. I'm working from home, so I'm trying to get my exercising in, trying to help my wife out. She's a teacher. She's working really hard, just trying to keep it together. Wait, really quick. I wanted to ask, did you know that Eddie Van Halen, his mother was Javanese? I didn't know that. Then that came out after he passed away, and I didn't really see it with him. But when you looked at his brother, you could see that that they looked a little ethnic, and their dad was a Dutchman.
I'm sorry, say that again. Javanese?
Like from Java, Javanese. So that was, I think that was a former Dutch colony. So I'm thinking his dad was a Dutchman. His dad's name was Jan van Halen, and he married a Javanese woman, probably in a former Dutch colony, and they moved to the States, and that's where the Van Halen boys were born. I mean, they're American, those guys.
Yeah, I don't know that they ever got political, man. It's probably why they're just so much fun. they're definitely a fun band. I just can't believe like that's a band that like I was gonna go see live again. Like I was thinking, oh man, when they come around and do it, like I'm definitely gonna when COVID's over. Like I never saw. Now that I'm thinking about it, I did never see Van Halen live, and that's damn it.
Yeah.
You know, damn
For
it, man.
anyone out there that doesn't really know who Eddie Van Halen is, he played guitar in the Michael Jackson "Beat It" song. He's that guy. That's who he is, and he did it for free.
Well,
who's your buddy there? Who's your buddy back there, Brian? Who's the guy with the tinfoil hat behind you? You got a guess there?
I don't know. So when you're moving, you dig out a lot of things out of your attic that you haven't seen in years and years, or you kind of forgot you had, or you have no idea why you have. This is the last one of those things. This is something I have no idea why I had. But I saw him, and I figured, we'll have some bipartisan support, and we'll have someone who maybe voting for Donald Trump with us on the studio. And he's got his aluminum foil hat, and this will keep the deep state from reading his thoughts. We've got some Narcan, and a bottle of Smirnoff, and he's smoking a joint. So
there you go. Bad disposition, ready to take out his anger on some immigrants.
After he buys weed from them and they mow his lawn and
after buying his beer at the Indian at the bodega, right, or like the Indian convenience store, he posts anti-immigrant nonsense on.
We should give this guy a name. If you have a name for him, put him on the comments. If you have a name, there we go. Here you go. It looks like one of the guys from Toy Soldier. Yeah, I think it. Yeah, there you go. Jerry's letting us know. It's a Toy Soldier character. It's a kid's toy. And, I have a feeling he may become a new part of the NJR Live crew.
There we go. In studio. He's the in-studio conservative commentator.
Well, look, doing these shows from an undisclosed location does have its advantages. We can, I can hang out with this new guy. I can do drugs in the shed, which is awesome. I don't know if anybody saw my Instagram post, but I did say that I have a ton of SNAP benefits right now that I got to use them before I become before I lose my residency and everything. And I wanted to thank, how people like to complain about poor people getting stuff on SNAP benefits that they're not supposed to. And one of my favorite things to do is flame up people and be a dick. So I went to ShopRite and I bought a whole bunch of Ready Whip cans on Phil Murphy. Your tax money paid for these. And I didn't even eat the whipped cream. This is all I did. I just did whippets, and that's it. And then I just throw them out because I don't even like whipped cream. Fuck it.
Wait, you don't like whipped cream? Who doesn't like whipped cream? It's the best part.
Yeah, but I'm just, I thought it was a funny Instagram post. I got a few shares.
I saw a couple. Have you paid more than $750 in federal taxes, however? That's the big question. Do you pay more than the president in taxes?
Probably not. Me not.
Are you a billionaire?
I know I pay. Well, I pay during the year, but I think at the end because I have 500 children. I mean 5. I'm sorry. It feels like 500, but I think we're frozen up with Christian here a little bit, and I'm not sure if I'm live. Christian, am I losing you or are you losing me?
I can hear you fine.
Oh, there you go. You're back.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I don't know what that's all about.
Okay, cool. So, I don't know. One of us kind of went. I might be getting a little lag here. We don't have the same internet connection that we used to have in the old studio, so it's
no problem. Close. I'm cutting off. I had a computer here, so I'm cutting that off. This way, I'm not eating up the internet.
Yeah, my kids are probably in there streaming or gaming or something like that, But so as speaking of my move. One thing that has been awesome about this is, I'm getting to a place, hopefully, where there's less COVID, right? And where I can maybe move about a little safer. And just in time for that, I am reading, of course, the news, and look what pops up. Let's see here. Yeah, the paradox just happened. Reporting on NJ.com, NJ will now qualify for NJ's coronavirus quarantine travel advisory. So if you are traveling from New Jersey into New Jersey, you need to spend 14 days in quarantine now, according to NJ.com. In other words, by our own standard that we set for states to come into here, they have to quarantine. We would have to quarantine now. We're above that level now.
Yeah, it's a
But
shame.
we're talking about opening up indoor dining and flu
You know,
season.
everything has been a push to reopen, and there is this like it's like we're just ignoring in this country. And I've said it in the past. We could live in whatever reality we want to live in. So there are millions of Americans living in a reality where COVID's not a problem, where 215,000 Americans aren't dead, where we haven't had the equivalent of over 70 9/11s, 70 9/11s with COVID deaths. And people could just act like that's not happening. So we're going to push to reopen schools, which is a shame, and it's a disaster. They're having this indoor dining. Trump's having his rallies. People just aren't taking it seriously. It's a shame. It's a shame. I mean,
the Florida rally you're referring. You saw? I guess you saw the pictures of this Florida rally that the moron had.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. I mean, he invited people to the White House. I mean, I said it in a video I made last week. I mean, here's the point: Donald Trump, every time he talks, endangers people. But literally, by opening his mouth, he can infect and endanger and even kill people just by breathing. Now, Donald Trump is a danger to those people around him, and he infected all those Republicans.
Right here in New Jersey, in Bedminster, where but that there's people that work there. There's the people that are serving the food. There's the people that hate him just as much as everybody should. Are now at risk because of him. And the problem is, if you heard his comments, he's out there now saying, "I'm immune. I'll go into the crowd and kiss people." The worst case scenario happened. The worst case scenario happened. He didn't get a severe case. It was, because there are plenty of people out there that don't get severe cases and they get through this fine. And we needed him to get sick, like Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson got it, said, "I'm a governor. I'll be all right. I got to go to ICU." And that dude was almost dead.
Yeah, Trump. Well, I mean, we don't really know the extent of how bad Trump has it. There was a video that was released of him breathing. I don't know if you saw it, where he was literally like wincing in pain as he was breathing. It looked like he had a lung infection. Right, so, I mean, I've said it before. I've said it on this show multiple times. If Trump's opening his mouth, he's lying. So he's definitely sick. He's definitely in pain, but he's going to try and play it down. There's no the president of the United States should not have caught COVID-19, but he's reckless and he caught it. And I mean, he continues to embarrass himself. He continues to embarrass this country, and that's that's where we're at.
The problem is this recklessness pays off in a lot of different ways. It rallies his base because his base is, and we talk about, and we're going to talk a little bit about Golden Dawn here in a minute and kind of references. And I think even looking at historical lenses, when we talk about Nazi Germany, I don't want to get too far into the weeds here, but we talk about Hitler, right? We talk about Hitler. But there were, tens of thousands and millions of people that followed these lunatics.
Yeah, that shows up all over the world.
Yeah, there was quote Nazi philosophers and all kinds of garbage that went along with this, and so it riles up that base of people. And now he's using it to project this strong man. I beat a virus. And that's like their whole thing is that they're tougher than a virus. Don't wear a mask. Go eat out. It doesn't matter because you're strong and you're white and you're Republican. And it's just nonsense.
People are dead. I mean, but that's what this is. I mean, look, again and again and again, there are people complaining about the left and political correctness and cancel culture and whining about social justice warriors and all that garbage. The right is legitimately killing people intentionally, implicitly, explicitly. Like it's happening. And we're like, they keep pushing these false equivalencies about Antifa and Black Lives Matter. And it's all a lie. I mean, Trump can't. It takes him 3 days to disavow white supremacy, and this is what we end up with.
It's bad. And getting back to this, the way the whole COVID thing is going. So now we're going to have a situation here where Joe Biden is running. It looks like Joe's going to win, but of course I said it looked like Hillary was going to win the last time around. And
I have no faith in people
with the way everybody's. Yeah, I think he almost basically out and out said that he's trying to stack the Supreme Court so he can overturn election results if he doesn't like them. So we've got a looming disaster of him making
a disaster either way.
What's that?
It's going to be a disaster either way. These terrorists, because that's what they are, these militiamen, these terrorists.
Yes.
If Trump wins the election, they're going to be emboldened. If Trump loses the election, they're going to be paranoid. Either way, they're going to lash out.
Why paranoid?
Trump has done nothing but make white supremacy, or nothing but like grow white supremacy in this country. I mean, Trump has been a disaster, and there's all those people that voted for him because they thought it would be funny and it would shake things up, and he was against the system. And this is what happens. This is what happens. All those judges that he gets to nominate, the laws he gets to pass. I mean, children getting molested in cages at the border, children dying at the border. Like, this is an absolute disaster. And we still have millions of Americans that are just undecided. They don't know what to do. They don't know who to vote for. I mean, I don't like Joe Biden. Joe Biden's low energy campaign is almost criminal in its own way. Like we are on the precipice of almost like fascism, and our best hope is freaking Joe Biden. Obi-Wan Kenobi, he is not, and it like
I have never
low energy campaign.
Like, he's not even trying to appease anybody at this point except donors. I mean, except it's very clear he's out there to support fracking, these endless wars. I mean, he's not even look. We were at a point with Barack Obama where he was still fooling us, right? He was still he was telling us that he was progressive. He was giving that image out. We're at a point now where the Democrats are like, "Fuck y'all, this is some shit, and you're gonna eat it." Like, this
John Kerry all over again.
He's against. He's not sure about the Green New Deal. He's against it. He's
against weed.
He's for fracking. He's for wars, and he's putting it right in your face. And he's saying, "Ha ha! This is mass scale gaslighting and abusive behavior. Is what it is. This is an abusive society that shits on you and tells you that they're giving you filet mignon every day. It's crazy."
Again, if somebody wants to vote for Biden, that's okay. I'm probably going to vote for Biden. But don't try to delude me into thinking he's some kind of inspirational, world-changing leader when the guy has spent his entire career cozying up to the powerful. Joe Biden has never been on the side of the poor, and people will tell me, well, that was 60 years ago when he was working with the segregationists. The fact isn't that he worked this. Well, that's part of it, right? But the fact is, years later, he's still defensive about it, right? He's still proud about it, and it's we are past this as a country. We are in the age of Black Lives Matter, and this goof is still talking about like, oh, when they worked with me, they called me boy, and it was okay. What are you talking about, Biden?
Honestly, have you ever heard Joe Biden apologize or sincerely apologize for it? I mean, how many politicians actually honestly do? I mean, most of them are so narcissistic.
It's not about the guy worked with segregationists. So, I mean, if you want to be a leader, that's what you do. Hey, I was wrong. I did this. I worked with these people. I thought it was right at the time. He could do it and still lie about it, and he won't even do that.
Yeah.
I want my politicians, they're all going to lie. They're all liars, right? Just be a better liar. Right? People are like, well, Obama lied. Yeah,
Barack Obama and still is a great liar. I mean, people think he's going to be a civil rights legend. He put a stop to an NFL strike.
Yeah, Barack
and subverted worker unity.
Yeah,
and he's going to go down in history as a civil rights legend.
Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, we whitewash people. We change that. I mean, look at when John McCain died. John McCain spent his entire career, again, cozying up to fascists, attacking civil rights activists. I mean, the guy, he all that time he spent in a POW camp, he was still incredibly racist towards Asians. It's all a sham with these people. There's the projection, and then there's reality, and people, talking heads, people we respect, educated people, intelligent people, they fall for the facade. A lot of liberals tend to think that the fault is only with Republicans, and that's not the case. We're in New Jersey. We have the shadiest Democratic Party in the country, in the state of the Democratic Party.
It's a criminal organization. It's just a criminal organization that gets away. Basically, what they do is they say, well, we do a bunch of fucked up shit. We'll just buy the politicians, make it legal, and then we can get away with whatever we want.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party is nothing more than a mafia. It's nothing more than...
They legitimately teach. I had a textbook, if I can find it. I had a textbook when I was teaching at Middlesex County College, and they literally talk about the different types of political cultures. There's the northern political culture, the southern political culture, then the New York, New Jersey, Chicago political culture. You know, wheel and dealing, crossing party lines, corporate handouts.
I think that HBO did a series on our political culture. Martin Scorsese has done some documentary filmmaking, if you will, of our political culture. I mean, honestly, let's face it. This is mob culture. That's what we're talking about. This is mob.
I mean, like that's a lot of what politics is. Like Donald Trump is a gangster. International politics is a gangster. Like forces you to be a gangster. George W. Bush, the neocons, they were gangsters.
30 years ago, if you had a little bit of money and you went down to Atlantic City in its heyday when it was nicer, when the casinos were nicer and it was like a bit of a hot spot, you had a good chance on a Saturday night of feeling a hand on your shoulder, looking over, and there would be Donald Trump shaking your hand, schmoozing you, telling you, about the buffet special or whatever, and thanking you for being in a hotel. Who you think ran that network? Who you think? It wasn't a bunch of farmers. It wasn't a network of worker-owned collectives. It was the mob.
Crooked politicians.
And and you don't get out of the mob as you rise to president. I got news for people.
Especially when you deal when you deal with the dealing with the Russians, dealing with the Chinese, dealing with North Koreans, dealing with anybody on the international scale forces you to become a gangster. I mean, that's just how it is.
And
that's national politics.
And as you see it, and into the larger discussion of how our politics revolve around this, you see this elevation of morons into power, which is what I saw in Trent. I mean, it's your buddy's uncle's brother's nephew's cousin that gets the job, not the guy that's got the degree. It's very simple to see why this tears apart our society at its very simplest level. You're putting people in place that shouldn't be in these places.
Yeah.
If you're good at fixing cars, God bless you. I hope you become the best mechanic and you make $1 billion a year being a good mechanic.
Yeah.
But but if you're a horrible narcissist, you shouldn't be running society. And we've basically invented a system that requires you to be a horrible narcissist in order to get and stay in power.
The Greeks dealt with it 2,000 years ago. That's the flaw of democracy. It's ego, right? You have a demagogue who makes promises, offers simple solutions to complex problems, offers people to blame, often a minority, often a powerless minority, and people fall for it. It's easier. Again, I keep saying it. It's easier to blame Jews or to blame Muslims or to blame Mexicans than to sit down and understand how politics and economics and how all those things interplay. It's easier to blame lizard people or aliens when you don't understand what's going on. And then every second spent looking for lizard people and government pedophile rings and UFOs is a second that you could have spent understanding how power actually works.
Yeah, it's
a waste of time. I'm beating a dead horse.
It's just for those of you in the rest of the country, and as I move around a little bit here and start to meet some new people to understand where we come from here in New Jersey. This is what we do. I mean, and it's not just New Jersey. It's around the country. We focus a little bit, like you said, on that regional political culture, but I see it seeping in all over, and it's not. And we have it right here in New Jersey. A bunch of people. Where you come from, New York. A bunch of New York liberals move here to bring their political culture to New Jersey. So while they try to expand New York, the great nation of New Jersey will continue its operations. Let's just put it. All right. I don't have commercial music, and again, next week, everybody, I promise you, I'm gonna have some commercial music. But I want to make sure that we get to our commercials, including Hippie Chick Natural Solutions. As many I've been puttering around Maine here, tasting the different various medicines and sundries about. Which I'm enjoying some right now. This is some Purple Punch from Medical Marijuana Store in Maine, which is just great. And like I said, when I'm in the shack, I'm not in the studio, so I can enjoy a little time and have a little smoke during the show. So I want to just been enjoying that. But one of the companies that I ran into there. It was Hippie Chick Solutions. I don't know that they're a medical marijuana store, but I know they have things for your pets. They have
Sounds like like a medical place.
Essential oils. Good thing, I use some essential oils when my back bothers me and stuff. So check them out, hippiechickllc.com for safe, natural options to pharmaceuticals through essential oils that balance your body and encourage health and well-being. But consult with a doctor. These aren't medical statements, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. Unfortunately, I do have to relight. While I relight my medical joint, something exciting. The reason why you're coming in here for 2 weeks is, one, because you love me and you love hanging out with me, but two, you got some exciting stuff coming. We're going to be able to learn more from Christian Perez very soon.
Definitely.
Right?
On my YouTube channel, Modernity and Absurdity, I released a couple videos this week just talking about the Trump having COVID, talking about the presidential debate, talking about the vice presidential debate. I uploaded them onto SoundCloud, so they should be released as podcasts very quickly. Very short this time. They were about 15 minutes each. I'm trying to keep it shorter with the videos. But one of the things I wanted to plug today was October 28th, Wednesday, October 28th. It's going to be in the morning, 10:30 a.m. to 12 noon. I'm going to be giving a lecture. And everyone is welcome to attend. It does have a cost. It is $19. I get paid the same whether it's 5 people or 50 people attending. It's not even about the money for me. But October 28th, 90 minutes, 10:30 to 12 noon, my lecture is The Impact of Today's Conspiracy Theories. So I'll be talking about QAnon, COVID-19 conspiracy theories. I'll be putting them in their historical context. I'm thinking I might do something like a timeline, tie QAnon conspiracy theories to medieval anti-Semitism, and so on and so on. I think it should be interesting. I sent Leah, who's awesome. I sent her some of the information. It should be showing up in the Facebook notes. All you got to do is call the phone number, click the link. It's $19 and it's 90 minutes and you get to sit there and chat with me. It's always an informal lecture. And like I said, it's called The Impact of Today's Conspiracy Theories. I hope people can check it out.
We got to support work like this out there. I want to thank contributors to New Jersey Revolution Radio. If you go to the website, of course, it's www.njrevolutionradio.com, and you can donate there. But, support Christian. Show up to this thing. $19 is great. And like he said, he ain't getting paid extra. But you know what? The fact that people will show up and support this work means that people that are paying Chris are saying, hey, people are showing up, so let's pay Chris. And then guys like me show up and say, you pay Chris more, or we're going to take this shit over. So you got to do your part. You got to do your part. So make sure you get to that website. I can see it up on the screen. And
you don't even got to get dressed. It's all virtual. You don't even got to wear pants.
$19. Put it down. Support our comrade. He's been on New Jersey Revolution Radio for years now. It's been a great guy, and so give him your support and make sure. I see our guest is in the studio tonight, so I'm going to bring in Daryle Lamont-Jenkins because he wrote the article, I believe. I don't know if it was him or one of his comrades at Ida Vox. But hey, Daryle, how you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up? It was me.
It was a great article. So I don't know if you actually broke the story, but I know I learned.
Oh, wait a minute. Which story are you talking about?
The Golden Dawn story. Golden Dawn getting ruled a criminal organization. So,
Christian, that wasn't me. That was that was a cut and paste. So yeah, that wasn't me about the Golden Dawn. But yes, there is some history going on with that crowd, and we have written a lot about the Golden Dawn in the past.
Yeah, I know. And Christian's got a whole thing about the history of fascism in Europe that we're going to get into. But Golden Dawn specifically came to my attention. I remember a few years ago with the slap video. And there's a video on YouTube where a Golden Dawn elected politician gets up during a televised debate and slaps another member of the Greek parliament. And then slaps her repeatedly over and over again on her. Him attacking her. So, this is the kind of stuff that they've been, and recently they've been declared a criminal organization. So that's awesome. What does being a criminal organization mean, though, Daryle?
It means they're neutralized, really. It means that it's the end of all the nonsense that they have been doing over the past, what is it now? I mean, they've been around since the 80s.
Since the 80s.
Yeah, but it was finally them getting their comeuppance. America, the world pretty much learned of the Golden Dawn maybe 9-10 years ago, and it was only because they started gaining in power. in Parliament in particular, in the Greek Parliament. I keep forgetting the name of the Greek Parliament, but it really lit a fire under everyone's behind, including and especially, I should say, the Greek Antifa. The Greek Antifa really raised all kinds of hell, and definitely the Golden Dawn must have took notice because they killed somebody. They killed a rapper, a really beloved rapper out there that was railing against them, and they ended up killing him. And we don't know who, but true to form, Greek don't play when it comes to that stuff. They turned around and killed two of them just outside, two of the Golden Dawn, just outside of their out of their headquarters.
I mean, so this is basically it's turning into a civil war. I mean,
yeah, it was kind of like an underground civil war. They were standing outside. Them and a couple other people were standing outside their headquarters, and two guys came driving up in on a motorcycle, wearing all black, helmet and everything. And this video of this. One was driving, the other one was pumping bullets, and then they took off, and it was never seen again.
Wow, that's just crazy stuff. I wanted to before, and I can't wait to hear Christian because I know Christian's going to tell us a lot about the history here. But I do actually have that video that I looked up on YouTube real quick, and I don't know if you'll hear the sound, so I apologize for those of you watching or hearing this if you don't hear the sound. But this is real quick. You'll see this guy here on the left, right here. This is the Golden Dawn politician, and now he's basically in a pretty heated debate, and I can't understand it because it's in Greek, with this woman in orange, and watch this woman in white. So basically, he throws a cup of water at her, and then this woman in white steps in to defend him, and just, I mean, this is crazy.
This is what they do. That's what they do. This is fascism power.
Hold on, so you can't even, I mean, that's even self-defense or nothing. That's just a man assaulting a woman on live TV as an elected official.
And here, if that kind of scene happened in America, Fox News would have been playing that in a loop. They wouldn't have broke away. Fox News would have been playing that in a loop and talking about how this is how fed up we are and all this kind of nonsense. And how do we know that? They're not going after any other fascists on their side that are engaging in that kind of violence or calling for it. So, and that's the reason why I bring that up in particular. Pardon me. A lot of these groups here, a lot of groups around the world, a lot of fascist groups, found strength in the Golden Dawn over the past 9-10 years. They saw what they were doing, and they got a lot of inspiration from them. There was a Golden Dawn headquarters in Astoria, Queens. It's interesting, though, because the Golden Dawn here in NYC did not try to branch out into the rest of the country. I mean, rest of the city. I mean, they stayed in Queens. They stayed in Astoria.
Yeah. And
they had events out there that I didn't even know about. And when I did find out about them, I definitely made sure that it was on our website, One People's Project. But ultimately, you had folks just basically keeping them suppressed here in the U.S. But that is not to say that fascist groups in this country did not get something from their presence here. You know, I mean, I go after a group, go after a publication called American Renaissance, and they was definitely all about Golden Dawn when they was in their heyday, so to speak. But now that heyday's done, they was falling apart already. Now they just got finished off. That's really what that is.
Well, I mean, it's good news. We know the struggle always goes on, but it's really good news and a historical news, really. To give a little context and perspective, I think, we've talked about with Christian, we've talked a lot about South America and the struggles there as fascists rise to power in Brazil and other places. And so it's kind of, it's a deeper history, though, of fascism in Europe, especially considering what, happened in the lead up to World War II. And I think most people associate fascism with being a Nazi and the regime of Adolf Hitler. It's time for Christian Perez to take us to school and teach us about what are the characteristics? What is European fascism, and what has it meant to history?
Well, number one, I mean, I wouldn't even call it European fascism anymore because fascism has spread throughout the globe. In the mid 20th century, there was a prominent fascist movement in Brazil led by a guy named Plinio Salgado, which was almost like a multiracial fascism. It was probably white centered and ethnocentrically white, but it was open to brown and often black Brazilians. Fascism is something that has, shown up in other parts of the world. Interestingly, it shows up in places like Russia and Greece. I mean, the Nazis killed 20 million Russians. So to be a Russian Nazi is to just be totally just clueless, not only of history, but of your own history, the history of your people, the history of your country. The Nazis occupied Greece. It's to be a Nazi in Eastern Europe is to display a profound amount of ignorance. But that being said, what is fascism? So I had sent Leah a graphic so she could place that. If anybody wants to post that in the Facebook group, we could do that. But in a nutshell, it's not anything super big. It's not anything super great. It's literally just a screenshot of my PowerPoint. So let's not be blown away by the high level of graphics I got going on here. But it's just a quick snap.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Don't knock your own work. We're
So
always
got
impressed.
up there in the upper right-hand corner, you've got Hitler and you've got the buffoonish Mussolini next to him. What is fascism? It's an ideology on the far right, and its goal is to completely restructure society, of course, in their image. I mean, some of the traits are extreme nationalism, propaganda, militarism, mistrust of nonconformists. So, that could be the Roma people, or they called them gypsies, Jews, Muslims, the disabled, the mentally ill, foreigners, communists, socialists, anarchists, anybody that doesn't fit in. It's vehemently anti-intellectual, right? So there are artists and scholars who might be fascist, but there's really not anything new to the fascist ideology. It's a lot of rhetoric. It's a lot of flowery language. They don't really have history on their side. So it's a lot of artwork. It's a lot of bombast. It's a lot of hyperbole. Sexism. I mean, we saw it in that video, the guy just slapping that woman on national TV. I mean, if I was the camera guy, I would have grabbed that guy. So
yeah,
it has this vision of an all-powerful state, and fascism will change from place to place. You had Italian fascism, which was born in 1919 by Mussolini. Hitler added white supremacy and harsh, just vicious anti-Semitism to it. The final solution and all that. Like I said, it's going to manifest differently in different places. It manifests in Russia. It manifests in Brazil. It's manifested in Asia. It's manifested in the United States. But basically, the idea is it is fiercely undemocratic, although they do use democracy to gain power. That's a big deal with fascism. They use democracy to gain power, and then once in power, they do everything they can to take apart democracy. Total loyalty to the nation is demanded. Individuals don't matter, and then the state ends up having a cult-like status. Propaganda is omnipresent. Fascism is something that can only be born in the 20th century. Nationalism is born in the 19th century. Countries like Spain, countries like Italy, countries like Germany are starting to unify, right? People are getting rid of their local and regional identities, and they're starting to develop these national identities. You're not a Burgundian. You're not a Britannian. You are a Frenchman now. There is something more. With the creation of the modern nation, that's where you have nationalism. And then what is fascism? Italian fascism specifically, it was hyper-nationalism. Mussolini hated the socialists because they were internationalists. So that's like my brief primer on fascism. But I mean, there's a number of books you could pick up. I've been reading them. I mean, years. You got The Anatomy of Fascism by Robert Paxton. He's one of the big wigs of fascism. You've got Passmore's Fascism, a very short introduction. And if you're like a collector like me, you have to get this book by Roger Griffin, Fascism. It's the anthology. So it's basically every major fascist writing of the 20th century internationally and so on and so forth. Fascism is a specific ideology. We tend to call everyone fascist, but not everyone's a fascist.
So clearly, Golden Dawn didn't get, thank God, the power and rise to prominence that the Nazi Party did under Hitler. And thankfully, what we're hearing is they're never going to.
Well, I mean, there were instances a couple of years ago where, because the rioting and the economic situation had gotten so bad that local police actually deferred to the Golden Dawn in some areas for law enforcement, which is incredibly terrifying. That's like the police saying we can't handle everything. We're going to let these QAnon people handle law enforcement. No,
or the Klan.
Yeah, or the
Basically.
Klan. Like, I'm not let the Golden Dawn come knock on my door. Get the hell out of here.
It's crazy. Daryl, let me ask you, because Daryl's like but we still got problems. Where in specifically, like, where are these guys going to scatter to? Like, what are we worried about? Because right now, a bomb just hit, blows up the organization, but pieces and fragments get scattered out there. What are we on the lookout now for where this might boil up again?
Well, I think that when you're talking about the Golden Dawn per se, just like any other member of a fascist group that breaks up, yes, they're going to break apart. They're going to start new organizations. They're going to some of them will fall by the wayside. Others will go into groups that are just as burgeoning, so to speak, or they will just start their own thing again. But the truth of the matter is, it's going to be incumbent upon everyone in Greece and in regards to our own fascism, when we get to that in a minute, us being vigilant. And this is something that I always keep saying. I've been saying it all day to various other outlets, that no matter what it is they do, it's us and what we do that's going to make the difference. I mean, we're going to look at what possibly Donald Trump will lose this year. And never mind all the silly stuff that they said he's going to do after the election to try to keep it from happening. When he does leave, there's going to be a bunch of people out there that are going to stop fighting fascism because they say Trump is out of there now. And that can't happen because
those are called Democrats, just in case anybody's wondering who Daryl's referring to.
You know what? I'm not just talking about Democrats this time. I'm really not.
Fair enough.
Because if you think about it, a lot of people got upset in Charlottesville that didn't really have a political mindset, so to speak. They were just living their day to day. A lot of people who are angry at Trump right now are living their day to day. And to the point about the political parties, you do have a lot of Republicans that are angry at Trump and want him to go away. But like I said, when Trump is gone, all of those groups we're going to start seeing a decline in an effort to go after these guys because they think the problem is alleviated. That's where we come in to say, no, these folks are still out there and they want to come back through the door. How are you going to stop them? Why? And most importantly, why are we allowing them to be here in the first place? Excuse me again. I think a good thing that I will point out, everybody likes to talk about how white nationalist Richard Spencer is supporting Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not somebody that, a Richard Spencer would like. Dick Spencer basically made it clear why he was voting for Joe Biden. He believes that Donald Trump is in the way. He believes he's too much of an incompetent. He supported Donald Trump in the beginning, but because Donald Trump has been that much of an incompetent, that they cannot do what they want to do. So they need him out the way so they can start all over again. And that's the mindset that we have to bear in mind is still in place.
Yeah.
The market's ruled, and I think that, and I don't think the market cares. I'll be honest with you. The market's just going to play whoever president is so they can make the most money, and that's it. So, I think that you're right. I mean, it's social pressure and knowing that it's not Donald Trump isn't marketable, essentially, is how markets react. And that's why Wall Street's seemingly leaning towards Biden. As a matter of fact, I can't remember. I wish I could give credit to the Joker who made this up. But I believe Goldman Sachs came out and endorsed Joe Biden. And they're like, basically, the economy just endorsed Joe Biden. So I mean, we know what we get the idea that the markets want Joe Biden in there, but not because he's good for me or you, and so we have to continue. I retweeted something from a great hero of mine, Ice Cube. I love Ice Cube, been a big fan for many years, and he's getting political lately. And he put out a tweet, a little video tweet with the hashtag of Contract with Black America or hashtag CWBA. And he sounded like Jesse Jackson back in the early 70s, when Jesse Jackson was calling for an all-black political party. He was saying, and I remember there's a speech where Jesse Jackson says, we can't do this without our own party. and Ice Cube's starting to get there. I wonder, where this goes. The Greens really fucking up this year by nominating a potato head.
Point of order.
Yes, sir.
Have
Yes,
you been
sir.
paying attention to what Ice Cube has been doing today?
No, what's up, man? I just saw this thing. He put 3 days ago. Was this tweet? So what happened today, man? Did he take over? Because I'm for it.
Not the way he is trying to work it now. Apparently, he decided to start supporting Donald Trump.
What?
No.
Yes. That's what's on Twitter right now. That's why everybody's flipping out over Ice Cube today. That's why he's trending today.
The guy who wrote it was
Katrina Pearson, who is a sycophant for Donald Trump, tweeted out that Ice Cube is all in on Donald Trump's plan for Black America or something like that. To which everybody responded, "Wait, what?"
I don't see anything on his. I'm going back 4 days now, and I don't see anything on his Twitter.
No, don't go to his Twitter. Just search Ice Cube on Twitter and see what you get.
Don't tell me this, man. Why are you telling me this? I don't want to learn these things.
The world needs to know that sometimes your heroes will make you cry.
Ice Cube clarifies role in Trump helping Trump admin develop platinum plan. That's what I've got right now. And I'm sorry that I can't screenshot the studio audience right now.
Well,
but
I apologize again for coughing, but
well, I mean, here's something from 2016. Ice Cube, Donald Trump is what Americans aspire to be. I mean, so apparently he's been shitty. Well, I don't know. It's weird. I mean, it's something that politicians just talk.
Didn't he sing a song saying "I never have dinner with the president"? Wasn't that a lyric of his?
Yeah, that came up a couple of times. As a matter of fact, I think that he's wrote some very curious songs about the president in the past, early presidents. But I would say when it comes to Ice Cube, I mean, it remains to be seen just exactly what it is he's trying to pull.
Yeah, we got to wait and see.
I have to end the show early because I'm just gonna cry. I lost Eddie Van Halen, and now Ice Cube's a Trumper.
Hey, wait! Well, you see what's going on, right now, don't you?
I don't have enough weed. There's not enough weed in the world for this. There's just not. Why'd you? Oh man, this is devastating news to me. Well, New Jersey Revolution Radio audience, I'm sorry for leading you astray there. Thank you. I'm glad, Daryle, you were here to correct me tonight.
Just so you know, Ice Cube said he'd never endorsed Trump in 2016. But yeah, it does mean that there are some things that he needs to throw out there. It's this weird thing that has been going on in certain circles that are basically breaking our heart. But hey, the attitude I have is that we know what we have to do. We know that even if an Ice Cube supports Trump or a Kanye West supports Trump or what have you, the bottom line is Trump isn't going but so far due to the rest of Black America. And I think that annoys the living daylight. Matter of fact, I know it annoys the living daylights out of white conservatives out there. That's why they try to latch on to every Black person that says even the smallest thing nice about Trump or them, you know. And the attitude that I have is that ignore that.
They do the same thing with scientists.
So don't worry. Black America is not down with Trump. Maybe some of the people that have been around are starting to go in that direction. But no. We're mad at them too for that.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things he says in the tweet that I saw were just, and we've echoed those sentiments before, is that every president screws us over. You know, every president has reinforced white supremacy. You know, so like, you know, and that's what I was getting at. Like, I wonder when we're going to start to see. Wonder when we're going to start to see real institutions take hold that can challenge parties and that kind of power. And I don't see it. Movement for a People's Party is just a dumb thing. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it has a lot of real organizing behind it, at least not in my area, not here in New Jersey, at least. But I don't know where these I still don't see these formations really happening yet, you know?
Yeah, well, for the record, what Ice Cube did, I'll just make this quick. What Ice Cube did, Donald Trump's plan for Black America is called the Platinum Plan. He helped put that together. He helped develop it. That's what they're saying on the other side. And everybody's just like, you did what for Donald Trump? I mean, somebody asked me.
I'll leave it to Ice Cube's friends and families and fans to judge. I was kind of gut shot with that tonight.
Hey, my attitude is a couple of years ago, there were some friends of mine that was asking me, well, if Donald Trump asked you to come to the White House and talk to you about what to do about hate in America, would you meet him? And I said, no, because no, because he won't listen.
Yeah, that's the best case scenario. He doesn't listen. Worst case scenario is he puts out a propaganda campaign where he turns you into his pet person of color.
Indeed, that's what happened to all those HBCU leaders. And it's like, no, you don't go. If you're Black, you don't go anywhere near Donald Trump, and that's just the real about it.
Yeah, he's going to use you. Like,
do you remember the Mexican dude that said that Mexicans were invasive?
I mean, my feeling. I mean, when you think about the fact, people are always saying that, Donald Trump hasn't appointed any Black people to judgeships. That's because you don't really want to be Black and have Donald Trump's tact on you. You don't want that in your life.
People are and kudos that there aren't a lot of Black people involved with his administration, because fuck him. Why put yourself? What's it, Candace? The woman that is on Twitter a lot. I can't remember her name. Honestly, yeah. This is how important these people are.
The biggest thing is that she's just grifting, as far as I'm concerned. The only thing she has never said in all this time that she comes up, and the only time she comes up is when she has something negative to say, and she never says anything positive about Black people ever. She just never does.
Ann Coulter is the same. Ann Coulter only pops up when there's something horrible to say.
It's not the same because Ann Coulter is white. Candace Owens is not.
Fair, true. Absolutely true.
And that's
in speaking of the tactic of just being a horrible person on Twitter.
Yeah, but we got a lot of horrible people on that side. That's why we're on this side. Yeah. I mean, we can run down a whole list of horrible people on that side. I go to CPAC every year. They're all in one room.
Daryle, have you ever seen The Dirty Dozen?
Meaning? The TV show? The movie?
It's a movie. The World War II movie, The Dirty Dozen. It's one of my favorites of all time.
Yes, I have, and I saw the sequel too. That came out years later. I mean, Telly Savalas. I forgot who was in. I forgot who was the Black guy that played in The Dirty Dozen. But
I believe in that. In the original movie, a lot of Nazis got together in one place, and
yeah, they did. Now I got wiped out. Unfortunately, we can't do that.
No reason. I just thought of that movie.
Yeah. Hey, I want to point out something. Johnny Cash. I'm sorry, not Johnny Cash, but Van Halen. Yes, rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. But above the VH logo is another dude that we lost, Johnny Nash, not Cash, but Nash. And he's the one that's saying, "I can see clearly now. The rain is gone."
Yeah.
More good music. So much. I mean,
Bob Marley's song "Stir It Up." Bob Marley wrote that for him. So Johnny Nash has a version of it that's really nice. If you get a chance to see it on YouTube.
Stir it up. Yeah,
he's
I like that.
He's out of Houston. He's the first non-Jamaican to record in Kingston.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, Johnny Nash. We lost him. He was he died in Houston, so he went back home.
Yeah,
went back home. And man, it's a shame too, because when they passed on, then you realize exactly what it is they contributed, and it was like, oh, and I didn't get a chance to appreciate it while he was here. And it's the same with Eddie Van Halen, because it's like a lot of people didn't realize. I mean, they loved his licks, they loved Van Halen, but then they start realizing, wait a minute, he gave us shredding the way we know shredding. I mean, there's a few arguments on Facebook right now in regards to that. I brought up that question earlier, but he gave us that sound. He gave us that sound that was really important for a lot of people going forward. So yeah, we're gonna miss Johnny Nash. And
Absolutely. You know, we kind of came full circle, man. I started off the show talking a little bit about music, and we're ending up on that. I mean, we have a lot. I think before we wrap it up, though, I did want to kind of bring it back into the fascism discussion because there's still things going on here in the United States with Proud Boys and other groups. Now, there are some. Are there international ties there between some of these American and Greek groups? How significant are they? What are the ripple effects over here?
Okay, I normally bring this up. I try to bring this up as much as I can, but that publication American Renaissance is going to have a conference on May 23rd to the 21st to the 23rd. We're trying to get as many people out there to Montgomery Bell State Park in Burns, Tennessee. They're going to have their conference in a venue in the park. They have their thing is to bring fascists from all over the world to come and speak to our fascists here. And the folks outside, it's just outside Nashville. The folks down there have been trying like hell to get people to help them chase them out and to help them just shut them down. The reason why they're in this area is because we shut them out of out of DC, and we shut them out of Charlotte, North Carolina. So they hide in the woods in Tennessee. But while they're hiding in the woods, they're plotting for some things that just cannot happen. If everybody's seen Alt-Right Age of Rage, the documentary that I'm in, they show bits and pieces of the conference in 2017. That conference was 2 weeks before Charlottesville, and their members and their organizers were there networking.
Yeah, yep. We got to be careful. There's still
happened. Remember, a lot of the organizing networking happened at this conference. So May 21st to the 23rd, they're going to be that. They're going to have it again, and I really want people to come out and try to deal with this nonsense. If you want to know more, you can reach me at onepeoplesproject.com or idabox.com.
That's why Daryle's work is so important, and unfortunately, it's always going to be needed because there's always going to be dipshits out there. But we keep an eye on them. Ida Vox, One People's Project. Daryl, thanks a lot for coming by this week, man. I appreciate it. Love having you, Christian. One more time, how do people find you? Because you're teaching stuff. What's going on?
I'm easy to find on Twitter at Perez Podcast. You can find us on Facebook. We have a podcast available on Stitcher, iTunes, everywhere, Modernity and Absurdity. I just released a couple of videos this past week, 2 videos. I'm trying to do more videos. It's a little bit easier. Like I said, October 28th, I'm going to be giving a lecture. It's $19, 10:30 a.m. to 12 noon. It's online. The links are in the comments section here. It's the impact of today's conspiracy theories. I'm going to be talking about QAnon, COVID conspiracy theories. I'll be putting them in their historical context. Like I said earlier, probably starting with medieval anti-Semitism. It should be interesting. Like I said, it's only $19, 90 minutes. October 28th. Come check it out.
I'm going to play on the way out Race Trader, a song called 3 Minutes of Hate. So you're going to hear me try my death metal voice in just a second. But I want to remind everybody that you can support NJR Live by going to www.njrevolutionradio.com. Give a few bucks. Please give a few bucks every month, like $15, $20 a month. That's awesome. We've got a budget, we've got staff, and the less I got to worry about payroll, the more I can spend time producing and getting out there and putting my studio back together so I can have like piped in music and better screen sharing, and it's not so messy. So please help us out by going there. Again, I'm going to take you out with a song by our comrade Money Mustafi and his band Race Trader with a song called 3 Minutes of Hate. I love that song, man. We will see you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, NJR Live on YouTube, Twitter, and what else? YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook Live. Until then, this is Brian Powers, and I want to remind everybody that the police can quit their jobs. Peace.
See ya.